Welcome back, everyone. Today we are driving into Yugi Kaiba format. A blast from Yu-Gi-Oh's early days. This video is probably going to be shorter than some of the other ones that will be in the future, but that's really because there's not going to be too much complexity in this format. But there is a lot of fun things that we can discuss. So, first off, what is Yugi Kaiba format? Yugi Kaiba is all about dueling with just the Yugi and Kaiba starter decks from March 2002. No expansions, no LOB cards, no ban list at all. Just the raw early game power cards that you get from those starter decks. When we discussed whether to include like LOB into the very first week, we ultimately decided against it because we didn't want too many power cards right off the bat. We didn't want to see triple Dark Hole, triple Change of Heart, triple Pot of Greed, triple Regeki, all in kind of like the first big set. We just felt like that is 12 cards right there. We're probably not going to get too much deck diversity if we do something along those lines, because that's just 12 power cards automatically going into the game. So we kind of eased ourselves into it and just started going with these actual starter decks. And I think this was pretty good decision. Change of Heart in particular was the absolute game changer, and everyone maxed it out, along with the Dark Hole and Monster Reborn. So that's still, right off the bat, 9 cards instead of, I said 12. I meant 15 cards that would have automatically been included. We still have 9 auto includes into your deck for Yugi Kaiba format. And that's obviously not even factoring in that everyone's going to be playing triple La Jin, being the only 1800 beat stick in the game right now. Everyone's probably playing triple Battle Ox, triple Neo, so that's other 1700. So like we wanted to encourage more deck diversity. So ultimately we went with just Yugi Kaiba starter deck. We'll do LOB next week. So let's talk about some of the deck lists that we got. And it's kind of what we expected. There were 3 main strategies that I was kind of expecting, and overall we had very similar deck lists in this first set. We had big beat sticks and power cards such as like La Jin, Neo, Battle Ox, and all the other stuff. Like this is the standard stock list that we kind of all expected. Playing triple La Jin, Neo, Battle Ox, Man-Eater Bug just to be able to out some things. 2500 beat stick of Summon Skull. Some players opted for 3. Most went with 2. But triple Trap Hole, triple Fissure. We have all the removal cards in here. Ultimate Offering was a nice tech choice for a couple people. It's still pretty strong, I think, at this point, especially playing triple like Summon Skull. So those were kind of expected to see. We also got things like this next one right here. This one is more of a Fiend Equip Beatdown deck, which I thought was super interesting. This deck list did okay, but overall it was obviously weaker and had its bigger flaws compared to just big stuff. Having to play like a 2-card combo to out like Neo and Battle Ox with your Ryokushin. It was definitely a cool in theory card, but or deck design, but overall just didn't quite hang out. It did win a couple games, but not too bad. So we have big beatdown stuff, we had a Fiend beatdown stuff with equipment, and then we had the Dragon build. This is kind of the one I kind of expected a lot of players to want to try and play around with, just because dragons are cool. Playing a lot of the weaker dragons to get off Flute of Summoning Dragon, making it a little bit more consistent. Playing Triple Curse I don't think is the right option even with this list. But triple Blue Eyes, triple Lord of D, and a lot of the power cards. This was interesting too because he only opted to play in 3 Dark Holes. And putting in a Last Will this early on, I just don't think was the right deck choice. I think this list could easily be improved, but overall, it was interesting. And then again, Dragon Lord of D is a high roll deck. It goes off or it bricks, and those are your options, unfortunately. A lot of the lists definitely felt really similar. We did have a nice, interesting wall deck, which was kind of cool. Something just to kind of stall, saying castle walls, which was interesting choice. Um, Ultimately, offense beats defense every time in Yu-Gi-Oh! So this list didn't do too well, unfortunately. It was interesting to see the remove traps in the main deck, though, for this guy, just because the only target for that is Ultimate Offering, which, yes, can be a problem card, but if they're summoning a bunch of things in the field, they're either going to win or you're going to Dark Hole them next turn. Again, not opting into seeing 3 Dark Hole, 3 Monster Reborn, which is interesting, but just playing the wall up strategy didn't work out too well for this one. Triple good stuff, basically just good stuff. This is again a stock list of kind of what we expected. This one was my list. Three Lajin, three Neos. I just kind of went with the beat stick stuff. Me teching in the Invigorate did actually set off a chain of toxic ranting from one of my buddies, and he opted into banning it for the next set, which I thought was super cool. But Invigorate, the one of to just attach to a battle ox to swing over the Lajin was hilarious, and it did pay off the one of. And I did equip it to Giant Soldier of Stone in order to swing for game for on a game two, which was really nice. So Invigorate did some work. All right, I loved it. It was a fun tech. But it did what I expected it to do. Against dragons, equips. I think the equip deck definitely was the most interesting and unique list. We actually voted to give him an extra vote because we thought it was the coolest, most unique list. That is one thing that we're kind of doing is just every week we're going to vote and see what's going to be the coolest list, and we'll earn an extra vote even if you. So if you just go horrible all week, but you had a cool list that was unique, we want to reward that. So those are all the deck lists and profiles. So we can kind of talk about how the scheduling went. In week one, players were responsible for scheduling their own matches, and well, any week going forward. And overall, we had 18 games played. And while not everyone faced every opponent, there was a really good turnout. So I made a nice fancy chart to kind of give everybody a little bit of motivation, see how many votes you're earning every week, how many games played, and just to kind of have some competitive nature to the gameplay. So with this, Father Genius living around 50%. Just we played about 18 games total, like I said, and overall, everyone earning some votes. We had some players only played about 2 games, but this was probably what I expected and I was hoping for. Most players during week one would have a lot of different participation in the game. I was looking for about 2 to 3 games on average per week was the goal for this. Because obviously not everyone's going to commit to playing 7 games of Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's hard to schedule sometimes. I got people all around the world, some people in Europe, some people in the US, so it's hard to get everybody onto that same time zone. But the goal was play 2 games. That's all I'm really asking for. As for the best record, it was of course me, Prunk, finishing with 5 wins and 1 loss, and only one unplayed match, giving me about an 83% win rate. But with the introduction of the next ban list, I'm really curious, and I'm excited to kind of show you guys how is the format going to change with these votes coming up. Everyone earning these different votes, we're going to be able to see how everyone voted, how the list is going to take shape, and what's going to stick around. Are everyone going to be voting for the same cards? Are we going to have a little bit more of a diverse? There was some diplomacy going in here where I told everybody I was hoping to kind of help limit some of these 1600 attackers because I wanted to see things like Skull Red Bird and like Fiend. Like I wanted to see more of a field support decks coming in for next set. So we'll see how those ban list goes in the next video. So that is going to wrap us up for our week one recap. Uh, I will show people how we voted in the next video, and I'm really hoping that we can get some traction with this. I hope you guys will be inspired to start your own leagues and get this moving on. I would love to see some more famous Yugi-tubers to actually do this. Some people who are popular, have better production value than I do, but we'll see how that goes. If you want to see more content like this, please like, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, and I will catch you all next time. Peace out, y'all.